Everybody thinks the sports card hobby is just ripping packs and hitting big cards, but nobody talks about the deals that go wrong, the money that you lose, learning the business. But that's what we're here to talk about. This is the real side of the sports card hobby with B&B Sports Cards. This is the Out of the Hobby Box podcast. I am your host, T. Wales. I'm here with the owner of B&B. What's your name, man? Introduce yourself.
I'm Steven, a.k.a. Stewie in the shop. Welcome to episode 1.
Oh, baby. Episode 1 of, again, the Out of the Hobby Box podcast. We appreciate everybody tuning in wherever you are listening or watching. Thank you for doing that. We're just going to freestyle today, man. Yeah, we really don't have much of a plan. We got a little bit of a plan, okay? So, we're trying to do this as professionally as possible, but we're going to freestyle it for the most part, man.
Yes, sir. Let's do it off the top of the dome.
Yes, sir. Before we get started, guys, listen, we cannot do this without you guys. All of your support, all of your generosity you guys have showed us since we started this journey. We started really diving into our social media at the beginning of December, honestly. Yes. We started doing Vlogmas. I think we had probably 200 and something subscribers on a YouTube page in maybe 3 years or so. And this is something that we've been talking about for probably over a year now, wanting to do some sort of podcast. And now that we've got the social media rolling, we decided now is the time. So we're up over, last time I checked, it was like 1,500 subscribers.
I think we were at over 1,700.
There's 17. We love y'all, man. Yeah, appreciate that. That's crazy.
It's been growing pretty quick, so it's all a snowball effect. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. And we're going to keep that rolling, man, with this. This is going to be brought to you, obviously, on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you guys are listening. We certainly appreciate it. But, we wanted to bring this to you so you can kind of get a different view, right? A different... maybe a out-of-the-box way of looking at the hobby, right, which is obviously the title. But we want you guys to see things you may not see on a daily basis or hear stories about what happens in the shop that you may not, get a chance to hear. So any help that you guys may feel that you want to give to us, we are accepting sponsors of the podcast. We'd love to support your business. If you are local in the area and you want to be a part of this journey with us, let us know. Just shoot us a message on Instagram, Facebook, email. Come in the shop and let us know. We can talk about it. But we would love to have your help in this journey. So if you want to sponsor the podcast, we would love to shout your business out, give you some love, and show your business love.
Yes.
That's part of it. I said love a lot. But either way, for example, 757 card shows.
Yep.
Come on, man. We pay for your pizza, chicken nuggets, and corn dogs.
Little nuggies.
At the trade night, right? Come on, Russ.
Drinks.
Help us out, brother.
Russ, Phil. We can put your little logo right here.
Absolutely. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about today, after that lengthy intro, as I just want to kind of discuss, we put out a feeler on Instagram, just kind of seeing what you guys wanted to hear, what you wanted to see on the podcast. And one of the main things that came up was like the origin story of the shop, right? So for those of you, you're good. For those of you that don't know, the shop has been around since like the 90s, right? 1997.
Which a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, it's been in various locations from what I understand.
A few locations, but primarily at the location it's been at, yes.
Right. And then you guys bought it how long ago?
October of 2022. So we're over 3-year mark now, going on the 4th year and riding strong.
Good. Absolutely. And so I guess my biggest question is, like, what was that transition like from buying that from, was it Bob?
Yeah, so I'll give a little background story of it. So, like Tim was saying, the shop has been around since 1997. Originally, it was Bob and Bill, which why it's B&B.
It's not big and beautiful.
It's not big and beautiful. Big, bald, and beautiful. But B&B was Bill and Bob. Bill passed away. It's been a while now, probably 12, 13, might even be 14 years now. And then Bob kept the trend going, kept it B&B, ran the shop forever. We've known Bob shoot, since I was real young. I mean, I've known Bob for over 20 years. Steve and Damien have known him for a long time. Those are, some other owners that are involved as well, which you guys know from the shop. So it's not just me. We got partners. But we've known Bob for a long time. And then, so me, Steve, and Damien, we were doing cards for, before we owned the shop, buying and just selling, going to shows, and such. And then during COVID time, Bob was, his stuff was going crazy, going nuts. But, Bob's a little older. He was ready to retire. We were joking around about buying the shop. And then he was like, well, threw out a number. We were like, we're not really interested. And then we kind of talked a little bit more, as those numbers kind of got closer and closer together. We said, wow, okay. And then we worked out a deal to buy the shop from Bob. We kept it B&B because it's been around for so long and people have known B&B since they were kids. I have people that come in and say, I used to buy packs from Bob when I was a kid. Now they're buying them for me when they're 40 years old. So, but that's kind of just a little story of it. And obviously, we'll get into a little bit how we've transitioned and updated the shop. I mean, from, what it was to what it is now, but with keeping that B&B, aura still around for sure. Because, again, people know B&B and it's been around for a long time.
Yeah, I think that was one of the most important things that y'all did when you came in, was deciding not to change the name, right? I mean, who's going to buy a Chipotle franchise and change it to, T. Wales'
tacos.
Yeah, tacos, right? Like, nobody's going to come and indulge in the business, especially when it's been around for so long, right? So I think that was very, very smart. Now, you guys did some rebranding as far as, like, the logo is concerned. I remember when I first got here, when I first came in the shop, I was brand new in the hobby, a little baby with diapers on, counting sports cards, thinking my $5 to $10 cards were something. And I came in the shop, and it just literally read B&B Cards and Collectibles, off-centered. I'm going to see if I can find a picture, and we'll try to throw it in here.
Missing the T a little bit.
Yeah, and it was like off-centered at the.
No offense, Pop.
Yeah, absolutely. But I went in, and maybe this was kind of during the time of the transition for you guys, because, or maybe now that I've been here a while, you guys may have even been at a show. Maybe that's what it was, because there were no cards in the showcase. There was barely any singles on the table, and I walked in, and I was like, I'm out of here. Yeah. I can't do this. But the rebranding, I think, bringing things into the 2020s,
updating for sure.
Absolutely, the changing of the logo and that sort of thing, I think, was a really big step for you guys. So what did that look like transitioning? Because I know from what I hear, customers who have been around since the 90s and the 2000s is, where's the NASCAR at? Like, where'd all of this NASCAR go? From what I hear, it was decorated with a bunch of die-cast NASCAR cars and things like that. So what did that transition look like? How did that go?
Yeah, so as soon as we took over, the first thing we wanted to do was we just started cleaning out the whole shop. We took everything out, especially the NASCAR. There was a lot of NASCAR. Excuse me. Lots and lots of NASCAR that had, lots and lots of dust on it, because it was popular back in the day. So that was our main priority. Just get the whole shop kind of everything out so we could see what we had with space. And then, because again, me, Steve, and Damien had no idea what we were doing. We just knew sports cards. Oh, this is what we could do, is sell boxes. We had no idea what we were doing.
Sure.
We jumped into this like, oh, you got to pay for AC units. You got to pay for signs. You got to pay for floor. Yeah, we didn't know what we were doing. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to lie to you. We've never ran a business before, but we evolved. We figured it out and just went with the flow. But so once we cleared out the whole shop, got everything, I'm not gonna lie to you, I sold the NASCAR stuff for pennies on the dollar to a guy. Guy took
Sometimes
it for,
you have to.
Maybe $1,000 for all the NASCAR. Just get rid of it,
Somebody
whatever. So and then we had the 1-800 junk guys come. Oh, excuse me, sorry about the cough, guys. But they
and that's
came,
a plug. That's a 1-800 junk guys. If you want to sponsor the podcast,
yeah, 1-800 junk. They came. We took out all the showcases that were heavy as hell. Took those out. I mean, you wouldn't believe the things we found. Bob would just had lying around. Yeah, I mean, I found a gumball machine that was not quite working, but it was it was there. We had to a bag of. It looked like Bob was going to take Diet Pepsi cans to the 5-cent machine and put them in there. So we had a lot of fun things that we found, and especially in the back of just stuff laying around since 1990s. I mean, I could tell you, I found some fun things, but again, we did that, and we wanted to keep the B&B model, keep the name, but just freshen it up. Not put lipstick on it, but rebrand it, So again, we got the new logo with the new sign, freshen it up. Mm-hmm. We got rid of all the NASCAR. We cleaned up everything. We got brand new showcases, new flooring installed. We'll get to this, but we got to our break rooms, or the first break room that we built. We put a wall up so you can't see into the back. It's private for us. Just putting up fresh new TVs on the wall to get that experience of people coming in just to hang out. You don't have to come in and buy. You could come in and just hang out with your kids or your friends. Yeah. That was that whole transition. I mean, it was a lot. I'm not going to lie to you, but it was, we thought, necessary for what we wanted to do moving forward. And I think if you ask anybody, especially yourself, if you would have walked into the shop 4 years ago compared to now, I mean, it's night and day. And, and Bob saw that too, like, because he stayed around with us for, a year or so, just hanging out, wanted to see the transition. And he loved what we did. He knew it needed to be done. He just was at a point in his lifestyle and age that he was just pretty much done and, handed over the torch. And we can only thank Bob because he built up B&B, and we just want to keep it going for another 30 or 40 years and hand it off. So
yeah, I mean that's something that I don't think a lot of people realize when they're, I hear people all the time, right? You go to these shows and there's a bunch of people that have their own small business and they use sports cards as a mean to make a little bit of extra money on the side, right? That's what everybody's trying to do nowadays, but I hear a bunch of people saying, my plan is to open up a shop, right? I want to open up a shop here. I want to do this. I want to do that.
It's hard.
But there's so much of just the little things that, you don't realize that you have to spend money on. Like you said, I mean, you think about it. We have 4 TVs just in the main, showcase area of the shop. I mean, that's, $500-600 a piece right there, just in TVs, right? And then, like you said,
and I can tell you, the AC unit for 6 months, it went out. And on a building like that, it's not cheap. Yeah. And they wanted certain people to do certain ways. So you got to come up with that money. And that's the thing, when you don't see a lot of money at first coming in because you're learning and a lot of money going out, it gets scary because that first year is, for any business owner, it's, that first year is very important. You're probably not going to make a lot of money. You're probably going to lose money. And you got to be able to sustain what you have going on or employees to move to the next years. It might take you a couple years to make some money. I mean, it was scary, but, you push through it and you kind of, there's no reason to get mad and upset at people or whatever. I mean, it happens. You see little arguments here and there, but you just got to keep pushing forward and the money will flow eventually. I mean, It's not like, and I know people see us, so they're like, oh, B&B is doing big deals. And, and we'll get to more of this too, like on winning and losing on cards. But just because we have so much inventory doesn't mean that we're making a ton of money. Or like, just because I sell a card for $10,000 doesn't mean I even made any money on the card. So I do tell people, it's, those little wins are huge too. Like you said, the $5 and $10 cards, when you're out there, and don't be intimidated by any of the shops or bigger guys out there. It's, the little guys, you can go out there and make money on dollar cards. I mean, I see it all the time. So, make sure you go out there and chase it. That's kind of what I'm getting to with this. I know I kind of went off the edge, and this is new to us with the podcast.
Sometimes you got to leap, man. Sometimes you got to leap.
But that's the biggest thing for us is we took that leap of, taking a chance. We had no idea what we were doing, and except we knew how to sell cards, and we were like, all right, let's do it. And we went all in on it. And if it didn't work, we go back to just going to shows on our own. But we took that shot, and thank God we have a huge support system, great customers that kept coming. I'll shout out Don and Marty and Mark and Russ. And, all those guys that kept coming. Like, they didn't have to keep coming. They've been around since day one of B&B. They could have said, see ya, but they were really helpful and like wanted to know what was going on, and it was cool to see that and the transition. I think they enjoyed it too.
Of course. And now you guys come in and you can see the difference that in the effort and the work and the money that's been put into this shop for it to look the way that it looks, right? And I'm proud of being a part of this business and a part of this shop. Not only did I know Stewie, since people call him Baby Stu, right? But I've known Stewie for a long time, and for me personally, like I said, I walked out that first day because it wasn't what it is now, right? It wasn't in the 2020s.
You weren't even sure if she was open because the lighting was.
It was dingy, and I went down to Cool Stuff down the street. Cool Stuff, if you want to sponsor us, let us know. But we went down there and did some shopping instead. And then when I came back, probably 6 months later, and saw that Stewie was there, and obviously I knew him, and I sat down, I talked to him, and it looks like they returned from the show that you guys were at or whatever, because there were cards in the showcases, there were new showcases, and unfortunately for him and everybody there, I didn't go anywhere, right? So I would come in and I have my own repack shows that I did on Whatnot, and we'll get to the Whatnot side of the business in another episode for sure. But I was sitting there for hours and just go through cards looking for autographs and different things. And
I remember you would and this is a good way to say how you got kind of involved with us, but I remember you coming in with probably Annie at the time and bringing the big wagon.
Oh yeah,
the big wagon. She'd be sitting in there, and I mean, like you said, I've known Tim since I was little, and he came in with his little girl and just going through the value boxes.
That's right.
Picking up cards for his Whatnot show, and again turning $150 into $300 or whatever. Just flipping, just starting somewhere. You have to start somewhere.
Absolutely.
And it just some people start on a lower scale than others, but just starting out is the way it is. I mean, you want to say a little bit about how you kind of got, I know we're kind of backtracking, but bear with us, guys. We're still feeling it out the podcast a little bit, going everywhere, but how you kind of got involved with us or your story.
Yeah, so I was in the corporate world for, ever since I can remember. So a little bit of background on myself. I played college baseball, left for the Marine Corps, and then ironically after the Marine Corps, I've been in insurance for forever, right? And it's you're working for the man, right? You get security, you get job security, you get benefits, you get all that kind of stuff, and it's but it gets monotonous at the end of the day. And kind of got a taste for the sports cards when I was coming in the shop, and starting to do that on the side a little bit. And then I bugged Stewie for weeks, man, and months it seemed like. And if you need help, I got you, right? If you need help, I got you. Just let me know. And I'll be here. I'll price cards. I'll sweep the floors. I'll do this. I'll do that. Whatever, anything to get my foot in the door to kind of help the business, because I saw the way it was growing, and I saw that I could maybe add a little bit to help in that process, right? And so that's where it started. Stewie said, you know what? If you feel like, I know you have a family, and just so you guys know, I got 6 kids, all right? I got
not just a family. He has a starting lineup for the basketball team.
Look,
with a referee.
Look, I got one getting ready to play college baseball and one learning how to crawl, all right? And all of them in between. But that's not for here nor there. But I had to support my family, and he knew at the time, paying me a salary that they could afford as they were growing wasn't going to support my family. But I also knew that, in order to grow and get to that point, that you got to kind of get your foot in the door, right? You got to kind of take the lumps, and you got to figure out a way to make things happen, especially when you have the size of family like I do.
Sure.
And that's where it started. It was, to a lot of people, maybe it's a lot of money. To me, it wasn't a lot of money working in insurance, but it was $15 an hour. That's what it was. I'll be honest with y'all, right? And I was just in there pricing cards and making myself as valuable as I possibly could. Until one day, Steve, the other owner, the older
Chief.
Gentleman, Chief, we'll call it Chief, yeah. You guys know him as Chief, right? And Stewie wasn't there one day, and somebody came in to sell cards, and Chief looked at me and was like, "You got it." And I was like, "What?" And he said, "You got it. Make the deal. You know what you're doing." And from that day, anybody that comes in the shop that says they want to sell cards, Chief now yells at me and tells me to raise my hand in the back of the shop. So Tim, raise your hand, Tim. That's one of my many jobs here, and I've been here ever since. But I can say that it's family in the store, and I hope that you guys feel that when you come in the shop, right? With Stewie and Chief and the breakers that we have in the shop between Raul, BG, Tom. Then again, we'll get to the breaker side in a little bit, and we'll have some episodes focusing on just that side of the house for sure. Unfortunately, all of them are pretty ugly on screen, but we'll get there in another episode. But it's all family, and it's all family. We bicker like family. We love each other like family. We buy Christmas presents like we're family, and we forget birthdays like we're family, right? All the stuff in between, and don't find myself going anywhere else now that I've been here. So I absolutely love it here. That's kind of just my origin story as far as how I got started with B&B, and there's so much in between. And now, I try to be the right-hand man to everybody that's in the store and be as valuable as I possibly can, and help you guys live your dreams and give you guys all the deals on sports cards, because clearly, that's what all of y'all want.
And I can tell you, and I've expressed this to Tim many times, and without Tim, especially within the last, since he's been there, the last year mainly has been a big, push, year and a half. Without Tim, I don't think we could be where we're at. I know we couldn't be where we're at with B&B without Tim. And that doesn't put anybody else that helps at the shop with the breakers, Edge with grading, Steve with the front. Me and Steve are there all the time too. But seriously, like, you're my right hand guy, or you're the shop's right hand guy. Like, and
don't make me cry.
No, I'm being serious, because, I know you don't. I don't need to say it every day, because you know that. But, those texts and those phone calls that meant, hey, I appreciate you. Yeah. I'm just thinking about you. That, hey, it's your day off. We could have used you today. The day, just for a little example. So this weekend, Saturdays are very busy. And, with me dealing with a little bit of health things, I haven't been getting around as well. And we're working on that too. So, but Tim has been a huge help. Steve has been a huge help. So Saturday he was like, hey, I think I'm going to go to a show for, an hour or two. And my first thing was like, dang, man. And I got a little upset at first, because I was like, dang, I know Saturdays are busy. I know me and Chief are going to be running around. I'm not getting around as well. But then I was like, you know what? No, we're going to, he's going to go, he can do that. He's going to be back. And I really realized, when he was gone for those 2 hours, how much I do appreciate him again, because it got busy. I knew it would, but, I love you, but I can't always just rely on you to be there all the time. But you are there all the time, so I appreciate that. Yeah, no doubt, and man. We're only gonna get bigger as a team, as a family, like you said. The breakers are making it happen. They're finally, we're on gear with that a little bit. Edge is knocking out PSA. If you guys need cards graded, come down to the shop. Edge will take care of you, or any of us will take care of you. But Edge has been doing it for 25 years. But yeah, that's just a little insight of what we got going on, or how B&B has started and where we're at now. And like I said, as long as we're rocking, hopefully you're rocking with us. So, because there's some days where, or on your days off, I'm like, where's Tim at? Where's Tim at? And we've grown from you sitting at the little 8-foot desk with a computer and a price gun, to you had a little 8-foot desk behind me, to me and you rocking it out on the desk, pricing out cards and buying cards. So you guys know we're always buying, selling, and trading in the shop. Come see me or Tim. Steve will help out. So
it's all about growth, man. To be honest, it's all about growth. Like you said earlier, just to just kind of circle around, kind of come full circle a little bit. We started, I did start in the front, right? Right now, where you guys look at Pokemon cards, that's where I started.
That was his
pricing
desk.
Cards, right? That was my desk, and out in the showroom, with everybody else, right? And then they gave me a little 6-foot desk over in the corner
with a computer,
with a computer, and now we're growing into what we are as you guys come in the shop, and behind us there are break rooms, right? And I know most of you that are watching this probably already know what breaking is, and we have 2 break rooms in the shop. One is meant for fanatics, one's meant for whatnot. And I kind of want to touch on that kind of as our next subject or our next segment, so to speak. So we're going to bring a segment to you guys every single episode, and it's going to be called the Out of the Hobby Box segment, right? We're going to talk about things that are kind of just topics that, you know, you guys want to hear about or may want to get more involved in. And I think a good start for us today is talking about breakers in general, not only our breakers, because I love our breakers, right? Yes, we do have a breaking operation in shop. So let me just say this before we kind of go any further. It's with a caveat, right? Because it's the breakers. There's a love-hate relationship with breakers, not only ours, but across the entire industry and whatnot, fanatics, all that kind of stuff. When it comes to card shop owners, because we're going to kind of get an insight on what the card shop owners are seeing, right? And me, as I manage this shop every day, what I see as far as the wax and the price of the wax and how it's gone up because of the demand for breakers is so big.
I want to be super transparent with a lot of it, you know, like maybe not coming down to the exact financials of stuff, but like just how financially stuff flows with it, starting with, you know, the buying a product to the in the shop to the breakers to full circle kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
And I love this topic.
Yeah,
for sure.
So let's just start this way. Breakers, good or bad for the hobby? What do you feel?
So this is a hard question, and you're putting me on the spot.
Probably
for
no,
sure.
probably no yes or no.
Again, there's a love-hate relationship with all breakers for all business. As a shop owner, as my livelihood, breakers are good.
Let's talk about it from this. Let's break it down this way. So our breakers in shop, let's talk about how they help our business, right?
Sure.
That's very helpful as a shop owner to our business, right?
Sure.
So how do having breakers in the shop help the business?
Sure. So I'll tell you again, like breakers for us are good. I'm just going to lay it out there. They're good. Now, some people will see otherwise for, you know, why they don't like breakers, and I get it. It's an ongoing thing. You can go left or right either way with this. For us, B&B, I can tell you having breakers are good. This is the reason why. For us, you know, we're allocations with Tops. We love Tops. Thank you, Tops, for everything you do. So we get product that comes in. Sometimes we get a little bit. Sometimes we get a lot. Just depends on the type of product, how expensive it is. That's a whole nother day to talk about that. But as stuff comes in, just say I get 10 cases of Series 1 baseball. We're just, you know, whatever. 10 cases of baseball, that's a lot. You know, that's a decent amount. And that's a flagship product that moves or whatever. But for us, as a shop, we have to pay for that product. So whether we put it on a 30-day credit card, whatever, within 30 days, that stuff has to be paid for, whether we sell 1 box or 100 boxes.
Right.
As a shop, we are responsible for that product. We can't just send it back and get a refund. That's not how it works. It has to move. So with us having just say 10 cases of that, we'll put, you know, some on the shelves for customers to come in. That's great. They come in and buy this product. But again, 10 cases a lot. So this is where the breakers come in. They come in, again, they go online. They put boxes on their screen. I'm just kind of giving the fast gist of this breaking operation. But they put the 2 or 3 boxes on the screen. With an hour, they sell all the spots. They break the boxes, and they repeat. Why is this good for a shop? Again, if they do that for 8 hours a day, one guy does it, another guy does it at night. All of a sudden, we move 2 cases in a day. Bang, we've sold 2 out of the 10 in one day. Now that money's flowing back in, we have that money to buy more product, which gets you more product and cards in shop for you customers to come in, and then the whole cycle starts over. So without the break, I mean, again, yes, you could sell a lot in shop, but to be honest with the pricing nowadays with boxes, it's hard to buy hobby boxes.
And that's just kind of piggyback a little bit. Yeah, the breaking aspect for a shop is it can be lucrative, right?
Yeah.
It's part of the reason, a really big reason that we're able to operate the way that we operate every day,
For sure.
right? That we're able to go to card shows and you bring me your whole Zion case of cards and say, can you buy these, right? That's part of the reason why we're able to do that kind of stuff and feed into your guys' business is the breaking operation.
Sure.
So
They bring
shout out to those three that are really grinding, Raul, BG, and Tom, that are really grinding every day to make
shippers,
that happen.
Our shippers also.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's a whole, we'll get into that.
we'll get into all that some other episodes. Just don't want to
forget you.
Yeah. But shout out to you guys because that is a very lucrative part of our business. Even
100%.
though they're all divas, right? Especially Tom. T
Nasty.
T Nasty is a diva. They're all a vital part of what we do, right? And
100%.
and I can't express enough how important that they are to our day-to-day operations as far as being able to do this extra stuff.
100%.
Now, on the flip side of that, when it comes to just being a customer, right? Let's say the Dons, the Russes, the Martys, the guys that come in, what's
You're
his
more
name?
collector.
The other Russ, the Eagles guy.
Yeah.
Shout out Russ, the Eagles
Yes.
guy. Okay, he might even come on the podcast. If he comes on the podcast, y'all buckle your seatbelts. I'm telling you right now, if Russ, the Eagles guy, comes on this podcast, buckle your seatbelts. Okay, buckle your seatbelts. Anyway, for those guys that come in and maybe just look to buy wax like they did when Bob owned the shop in the '90s, right, or the early 2000s, why are breakers? I'll give you this opportunity. Good or bad for customers?
Yeah, so I mean, I can, again, it's for that aspect, breakers are not as friendly to that reasoning because they have, with Fanatics and with Panini and all this back and forth, has driven, pricing up, which we have seen within the last couple of years. I mean, for instance, pre-COVID, so we're talking about 5-6 years ago, before that, you could buy a flagship box for $60-$70. Now you're talking about it's doubled for just flagship, which is a lot. Because you've seen your other boxes triple up to like $1,000 a box. I mean, it's gotten a little crazy where it's hard to buy boxes now, and that's where breaking has taken over because you can buy one spot into a box instead of buying a $500 box. You could spend $20 and get two teams and maybe hit that big card. Yeah. Again, for the guys like Don and the collector type, we'll just say the collector type. Breakers are not. They don't like breakers. They not that they hate them, but they have driven the market upwards. And again, I've always said supply and demand. Until people stop buying this stuff, it's just going to keep going up. Just it is what it is with everything. Yeah. You buy it, they just keep marking the price up. But the thing is, people have to open the products to get these cards. Right. So, people are chasing these $100,000 cards, these $50,000 cards. It's all a gamble. And for people, like, when they hear that, they're like, wow, I can hit $100,000 card. Shoot, it's like a scratch off. I'll take a shot at it. But again, the breaking aspect to that, if you ask those guys, they're going to tell you breaking has ruined the hobby. But if you ask, the newer generation, they're going to say breaking has maybe saved the hobby or brought it more into limelight. Yeah, is a thing. So, and this has been a debate for the last 5-6 years. Breaking was around before COVID. I mean, like Army, we were talking about Alex. Yeah. He used to do breaking. I mean, I used to do group breaks with those guys when I was 10, 11, 12 years old, getting into triple threads breaks. But it wasn't to the extent it is now. Right. Now it's live and mainstream. You got cameras everywhere. You got, backyard breaks doing, $10,000 mystery packs. It's evolved. So there's no true answer. Are breakers good or bad for the hobby? You can debate both ways all day, all night. For us as a business, B&B, great. For the consumer aspect, they're not going to like it. Yeah. If that makes sense.
It absolutely does. And it's almost like a created problem that's also its own solution, right? Yeah. Because like you said, those people that want to still get into those bigger boxes, you can do that by breaking, right? Yeah. But then, like you said, the price is driven up. Just to kind of give you an example, we have a decent operation where we're at, right? Like you said, we could get 5, 6, up to 10 cases of certain things in. at a time, right? But then you look at other shops, just let's take our sister shop in Vegas. Shout out to Justice and Damian and Jake and you guys doing your stuff out there. But, when the Top Scrum basketball came out, they had pallets upon pallets of this stuff coming in. And as long as, breaking operations like that are continuing to buy the product at that price, the price isn't going to come back down to where the average consumer can just buy a hobby box, right?
Until they don't move. Yeah. Until they're sitting there with pallets that aren't moving. It's a supply and demand thing. People are wanting it. People are paying for it. Price goes up. I mean, it's simple.
And that's one of the things you have to do. I mean, even us sometimes we have a lot of product that sits on our shelves for a long time, and we have to be creative in how we can try to get rid of that. Whether it's to throw it in a break and get people to try to pony up their hard-earned money every single day to try to buy into some of that stuff, which, by the way, guys, we are super appreciative for all of you guys that join our breaks on Whatnot. Again, we'll get into Whatnot and Fanatics and all that stuff in a different show. And just because
we do breaking, there's good breakers out there and not so good breakers out there. Like, I've seen, shows that are really trying to squeeze every dollar out of people, which, yes, at the end of the day, we're trying to make money, but we're trying to create a community and with this hobby where it's a win-win situation for everyone. Can we make a little bit of money? Sure. But you should be going somewhere to break where you feel safe with that breaker, first off, and that you're not getting ripped off.
Right.
Again, you're still buying your spot. We can make a little bit of money. You can get your cards and make money off of it as well.
Right.
So, and again, like Tim said, it's a huge, we might have products sitting on the shelf. That's just money sitting there. As a shop, we have to be constantly moving. And I try and tell the breakers this all the time. When you guys aren't on, it affects the business. They are the, in sense, the hardship of the wax for a shop and the breaker operation when you have that all together.
And I hope they're not listening. I hope our breakers aren't listening to the podcast, because us calling you the heart of our operation is going to really give you guys some real.
That means you, Tom. I'm looking at you because I don't want to hear, we're the heart.
We're never going to hear the end of it. They don't watch anyway. I know Tom doesn't even know how to log on to YouTube, so it's not even a big thing.
But they are. They truly are. Me and Damien have talked about this. We've expressed this. As soon as you don't run.
Damien is another owner, by the way. He lives
Steve's
in Vegas.
son.
Yes.
But we've talked about this many times. It's a cycle. If you guys could, it's a circle. And again, we buy product. We spend this money. This money comes out of bank account no matter what. Goes to the breakers and to the shop. But the breakers need to be moving more than the shop typically. Or they complain about that. That's another thing. That they don't have product, which is crazy because we can get product, but whatever. And then recycles the money into bank account. It's simple. I mean, it's just a full circle. If they're not selling, we're probably not buying, even though we buy all the time.
That's that, man. That's the breaking operation. Good or bad? I mean, it's up to you guys. You guys decide. I mean, what side of the coin are you on, right? We see both sides of the coin. We see the good side of breaking, and we see the bad side of breaking.
Let us know in the comments.
Absolutely.
Like we love to it could be a debate for days.
Absolutely.
It's awesome. One thing I'll just touch on that. It is super cool to see people come in the shop that hit a huge card, and they're like, "Can I come pick it up? I'm local." We're like, "Yeah, come in." And we put the names with the faces, and they're like, "Man, T or T Nasty or BG or Raul, man, they're awesome." It's the support we get. I mean, we're almost at 50,000 followers or subs, whatever you want to call, on Whatnot. Like, we're not just a little channel. So those people that come in or they come from another state, they're like, "Man, we break with you. We've broken with you. We see you online." The support is awesome. And
Absolutely.
When we can give back to you guys and give out for giveaways and stuff like that, we're all about it.
Absolutely. So put it in the comments, guys. What do you think? Breaking good for the hobby or bad for the hobby? Let us know, and we'll be more than happy to talk about it with you. So finally, I think the last thing we kind of want to talk about today is a topic that somebody brought up on YouTube. I don't have their screen name here right now. I wish I did. I'd shout you out. But it's a big topic for us at the shop, right? Holding cards or flipping cards, right? Like, if you're young and getting into this business and you're starting to buy cards, whether it's baseball and you're buying prospects, or it's football and you're buying quarterbacks, or you're buying vintage cards, right? Which is one of Stewie's babies here. If you know him, he loves his vintage cards, which I'm sure we'll get into. But that's a question that they kind of want to know about. What's our thoughts on holding cards as opposed to, hey, let's get them and sell them and flip them. So I'll let you give your thoughts first, and I'll give mine, and we'll kind of go from there.
So I've learned, the biggest thing I've learned in the last 3 years or so with the business, do not hold cards for the most part. For them, like 95% of cards, don't hold unless it's vintage. That's the only thing I would highly recommend. That or super like rare, like 101s, whatever. Anything that is new and shiny, do not hold. Yeah. I've learned the hard way. I mean, I'm talking about we've learned from holding $10,000 cards, and we're like, oh, this can't be that bad of a hold.
Anthony Richardson.
Ronald Acuna. Tatis. But Wander Franco. Womp, womp, womp. Yeah, everyone loves that one. But I have learned, and we have all learned, it is not a good idea to hold cards. Now, can you hold cards and still make money? Yes. There's that 5% out there. I saw Backyard Breaks post another video where he's up. Those are on very rare cards. Rare cards you should hold. I don't blame you. But if they're new, just move. I don't care if that card you bought for $100 has gone down to $40, okay? Mr. Kenny Pickett. All right? Just move the card. He is never going to play again. And if he does, so be it. He's not going to come back up.
His peak is come and gone.
$40. Take the $40 and reinvest it into Jackson Dart, someone new, and move that card. Buy that card for $40 and move it to $60. Okay, keep it moving. I have learned, because I have gotten my ass spanked. Sorry for the cussing. We have gotten our ass spanked, and I know people out there that have gotten their asses spanked as well. To not hold any cards. Okay, it is not unless you are a collector and just want to hold the cards and don't care about the pricing, hold the cards. But if you see your card go down to a point where it's never coming back, move it and just take the L, because you're going to win 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 times. Those 2 losses, it's the same thing with breaking, like we talked about. You lose maybe 1 or 2 days, you win the other 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Just move on. Take the percentage and win.
And
so
I started with baseball, guys, right? I was brought up to prospect is what they call it, right? Like all the Bowman stuff that comes out, right? Like the first Bowman's color and this and that. Like, hey, let's prospect, and then, in 5 or 6 years, you got the next big guy, right? You got the next guy that's going to pay you millions of dollars because you've saved his cards. Well, I can tell you that if you come into my living room, I have thousands of dollars that I've spent on Max Meyer and Vidal Brujan that are worth nothing. But they sit on my wall and they look nice, right? But the prospecting side of things, it's good if I've heard plenty of stories like, oh, wait, I think I have Jacob Mizorowski in this box. And then you look it up and you're like, oh, I really do. I had him. But you didn't prospect on purpose, right? A lot of times you're going to miss. It's just like real life with Major League Baseball, right? A lot of times you're going to miss more than you're going to hit. For as many stories as you might see on some of these bigger accounts of, look at these cards that I held and I paid my mortgage payment with them. There's 5 stories of cards that they held that they've lost a mortgage payment with, right? Yeah. So I'm 100% on board with him, and that's something that we always seem to go back and forth with at the shop, right? Like,
I've gotten better with it.
I will give you credit. He has gotten better with that, 100%. Especially in the new year, 2026, we've done a lot of. We're going in a different direction, right? We've liquidated some things and we're moving on. But he's done a lot better, right? And like he said, the shiny stuff, get it, price it, get it out, right? Flip it and turn it into something else. Now, the vintage side of things, I am actually I have come to the dark side a little bit with him, because I've always been like, why are these vintage cards in the bank vault, right? Why aren't we putting these out to sell? Why are they, But we've seen even like vintage baseball and even stuff like '90s, like Kobe refractors and Jordan refractors and things like that have just skyrocketed to the point of, well, hey, now might be the time to sell them, right? But if we didn't hold them, we would have missed out on a couple $1,000s on cards, right? And it's a unique and very tricky slope. But if you know what you're looking for, it could be done.
Yeah, and a thing with vintage, because Steve got me into vintage because I used to be like, oh, well, this is stupid. These old, who's paying
That's how I was.
Who's paying attention to Mickey Mantle? Then I realized, I was like, oh. These are like the limited edition cards back in the day.
Yeah.
So, vintage. If you hold vintage, I don't blame anybody for that. That's like little gold bars, little silver bars that you put away. I mean, we saw it. You saw. We put stuff away in our safe that most of the vintage we put away, graded, put it away, whatever. We started looking at some of these prices. I mean, I had a Jerry Rice card. We put a sticker on it. I mean, it could have been more than 8 months ago, and there was a PSA 9 rookie that was doing like $2K, and then all of a sudden we looked it up and they're doing $3,300. I mean, that's over a 50% grow in less than a year. You don't see that anywhere, not in the stock market, real estate, anything, not on purpose actually. So, and there's been proven graphs that show that certain cards and sports cards have beaten S&P 500 and beaten stocks and such like that. And most of it is vintage stuff and the old stuff that you just can't, you don't see that often, Even Jordan stuff, you see it, but it's like, it's through the roof right now. I mean.
And if you think about it, right, like we all grew up, if you're in your late 20s to 30s, we all grew up idolizing guys like Kobe and Michael Jordan. And we all grew up, if you collected sports cards, you had plenty of Jordan and Kobe cards, right? But now
you can afford
now you got money, right? Now your job's paying you a little bit of extra to where you can go get that Kobe refractor or that Jordan refractor, and you're able to pay up on that stuff a little bit. And now you're able to capitalize on all the stories that your grandfather told you about Mickey Mantle and Babe Ruth and Roger Maris and all these guys that, wow, their cards are expensive, right? And this card reminds me of a story that my grandfather told me. And so now I want this card, right?
And we're starting to, we're starting to see like these repack guys and these guys that mess with
100%.
I'll shout, throw out just a name that a lot of people know, might love or hate him, but Roth Cards, for instance, again, that's a love-hate relationship with him, but he buys big boy cards, He buys very, rare one-on-ones. But you've also started to see those guys and him start to get into making 52 Mantles, 51 Mantles, because they see the trend and know, hey, I could buy this card. I don't have to necessarily flip it right away. I might be able to sit on it, make 10%, and then move the card, So, I mean, vintage is starting to really pop a little bit more. I think people are chasing it more for sure. But back to the initial question, I would just be moving any of that new shiny stuff. And that's the biggest thing I tell new collectors or new people getting into the game that are buying and flipping, especially younger kids or the younger generation. Do not get caught on, oh, this guy's the best. How many times, especially with like the young guys, have we seen this guy's going to be the next so and so? This guy. 98% of the time, 99% of the time, the guy, you don't even know where he's at now.
Yeah.
Doesn't pan out.
Yeah.
Those guys from, like, Jackson Holiday, for instance, he was supposed to be, and not that he isn't good, but he was supposed to be like, oh my God, unbelievable, this and that.
Hasn't got there yet.
Yeah, right. So you spend these cards, I mean, why is his card going, his autographs are going for thousands and $10,000, but then you got Ken Griffey Jr., Frank Thomas.
One of the guys that have done it.
Mickey Mantle autographs going for nothing.
Yeah.
And they are in the 500-600 home run club.
Yeah.
And are established and Hall of Famers. And then you got this 17-year-old kid that has a $100,000 card.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah,
guys.
I mean, at the end of the day, Jackie Robinson, Mickey Mantle, Michael Jordan, they're not going to tear their ACL tomorrow. They're not going to get hurt. They're not, going to transition to something different. It's there are things that hold their value and things that don't. So if you're asking us any of the new shiny
get it and move
paralleled stuff, get it, flip it, move it, get it out, move on to something else. If there's anything that you're going to hold on and invest, whether it's for yourself or for your family in the future, or whatever the case is, make it vintage, make it 90s basketball refractors, right? Things like that that'll hold that value for a long time.
For sure.
Yeah, that's it, I think, for us today, man. I mean, I think we covered a lot. Yeah. I mean, I think it's a good initial start for the Out of the Hobby Box podcast, guys. Listen, there's going to be a Linktree link. If you go on our YouTube page, a Linktree link will be in there. It's all over our Instagram, everywhere else that you follow us. You can click that and follow us anywhere on social media. Feel free to stop by the shop, man, if you guys are local and want to talk about this. Yes, if you want to come on the podcast, if you have anything that you want to talk about, put it in the comments, man. Interact with us. Let us know what you want to see, because this is this is the Sports Card Hobby Podcast of the 757.
Oh, the 757.
That's what we're going to make it. We're the card shop of the 757. This is going to be the podcast of the 757. And we want you guys involved. From other shop owners, Collectible Kings, Heroes. What's the other one? STG, is that what it is in Chesapeake?
SNL.
SNL, that's what it is. All you guys, man. Anybody wants to come on the podcast, discuss their business, how they're doing, or any influencers, anything like that, let us know, man. We want to bring you guys on the podcast. We're going to have this thing going for as long as we're here. Yeah. You're going to be seeing the Out of the Hobby Box podcast. So
we're going to have a lot of fun with this. And me and Tim, I told him, I was like, if we're committed to this, we're committed to this. We're not going to try and half-ass this shit. We're going to put all into the social media, into the YouTube, into the the Facebook stuff. So we would love for you guys to join with us and give feedback. We love feedback. Positive, negative, what can we do better? All that stuff. We would love to hear it all. Yes. So, I mean, we're going to, like I told Tim, we're going to look back at the first podcast and podcast 27, and we're going to be laughing at it.
Yes,
how
absolutely.
we've grown and everything. So we want you guys to come along with us.
Yes, come along for the ride, guys. Next week, I think I got some topics in mind. Not one of Stewie's, like he's not an expert here, but we're going to make him an expert, all right? Next week, we're going to talk a little bit of TCG next week, okay? So if you guys are Pokemon guys.
I stayed awake for the whole podcast this one. If you guys ever catch me
drifting, it might be next week.
It might be next week.
We're going to talk some Pokemon. We're going to talk some TCG, how that's affecting the business. We're going to get into some other stuff that hopefully you guys enjoy as well. Don't forget, like, subscribe, comment, all the social media stuff, hit all the bells, hit all the whistles. Make sure you're following us. Make sure you're commenting so we know that we're doing a good job or we're not doing a good job. However it is, just let us know. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. Out of the Hobby Box podcast, episode 1 is done. Good job, G. We'll see y'all next week.